Hello and welcome to the RLR Training Academy. In this training video we will show you how to prepare a carriage for use by a wheelchair user and how to return the carriage back to the normal seating configuration. The removal and replacement of seats, carriage side panel and partition need to be done safely and in a certain way, as these items are heavy and awkward to handle. For this demonstration we will be using carriage number 204 in Woody Bay platform. Carriage 204 is an enclosed carriage that can accommodate up to 2 wheelchairs. All of our enclosed carriages, including the guards vans, can accommodate wheelchairs, and there must be at least one enclosed carriage in each train formation for us to be classed as wheelchair accessible. Our open carriages cannot carry wheelchairs as the sides cannot be removed to allow access. The removable carriage side of an enclosed coach is determined by the RLR logo on the panel and a yellow safety sleeve at the top of the stanchion just underneath the roof of the carriage. Only this panel can be removed from the carriage as all others are fixed in place. The other side of the carriage has another removable side panel in exactly the same place, so wheelchairs can access the carriage from either side. You will need a T key to enable the safety lock on the carriage side to be undone. The T key can be found in the box located in the guards compartment. The seats from the central portion of the carriage must first be taken out, as they are held up by the runners on the removable carriage side. The yellow safety sleeve that prevents the budget lock being undone must be lowered to the bottom of the stanchion by undoing the wing nut on the inside of the carriage and removing the bolt. Once the wing nut and bolt has been removed, screw the wing nut back on the bolt a few turns and place in the rain gutter so that they don't get lost. Also be careful not to drop the wing nut or the bolt in ballast while handling them, as they will be difficult to find. Insert the square end of the T key into the budget lock and turn to disengage. Remember to hold the stanchion with your other hand to prevent the carriage side falling out onto you. Place the T key on the carriage roof for use again later and lean the carriage side out towards you using your knees to support it. The carriage side is heavy but is now released and can be lifted out. It should be leant safely against a wall, building or fence so that it will not fall over and cause an injury. Next, the central partition needs to be removed. Again, this item is fairly heavy and you should make sure you have a good footing as you cross the gap between the train and the platform, while also keeping your head down so that you do not strike the roof while exiting the carriage. If the wheelchair user is making a return journey, the partition can be leant safely against a wall, building or fence until the train returns. However, if the wheelchair user is only making a single journey, then the partition can be placed in an adjacent compartment as shown, or the front guards van for reinsertion at the other end of the line. The wheelchair ramp now needs to be placed to bridge the gap between the platform and the train. When placing the ramp, make sure that the carry handle on the underside sits in the gap between the platform and the train, and use your foot to ensure it will not move. The wider of the two ramps as shown here is for use at Woody Bay Station, as the platform is on a sharp curve and the gap is bigger. This ramp is stored in the carriage shed and is usually put out on the platform at the start of the service. The narrower wheelchair ramp for use at Willow Lawn Station can be found in any one of the two buggy wagons. The space now created in the enlarged compartment will accommodate one wheelchair and allow accompanying persons to sit with the wheelchair user. However, by removing the seats at either end, 2 wheelchairs can be accommodated, but any accompanying person will need to sit in the adjacent compartment. Once the wheelchair has been loaded, the brakes must be applied to the wheels to stop movement while the train is in motion, and the carriage side must be locked back in place for the journey. We will show you how to replace and lock the removable side panel as part of returning the carriage back to its normal seating configuration. The central partition should first be slotted back into place, ensuring that the lugs at the top and bottom on the side of the partition locate correctly into the holes on the carriage side. If the partition is inserted as shown here, it has been put in the wrong way round and the carriage side may not locate correctly when putting it back. The partition should be inserted with the coach number and arrows pointing towards each other, like this. The same technique, using your knees to support the weight as you remove the carriage side, should be used to put the side back in. 4 locating lugs on the bottom of the carriage side must locate in the corresponding holes on the carriage frame. When you come to lean the carriage side back into the top, be sure to locate the lugs on the side of the partition into the carriage side. If everything has been done correctly, the top of the stanchion should clear the roof line so that the budget lock can be engaged. Should the top of the stanchion foul the roof line and not fit properly, then either the lugs on the bottom of the carriage side have not located in the holes correctly, or as is common, sand and dirt has accumulated in the recess on the coach frame and should be cleaned out with a T-key as shown. Once all the parts have been put back, the budget lock can be engaged with the T-key to lock the carriage side in place. The safety sleeve can now be slid back up the stanchion. If the budget lock has not been engaged or locked correctly, the pin on the side of the sleeve will not locate properly as the budget lock mechanism is occupying the pin recess, and this will prevent the hole that the bolt goes through, which secures the safety sleeve, from lining up. As you can see from this picture here, the safety sleeve is now located in the correct position. You can now reinsert the bolt through the safety sleeve and the stanchion, and tighten the wing nut up on the bolt inside the carriage. Be careful to only screw the wing nut up finger tight, as over tightening will make it difficult to be undone for the next person who comes to use it. The most crucial thing to do after the bolt and wing nut have been tightened is a safety tug test, to ensure that the carriage side is locked in place and will not fall out while the train is in motion. The seats can now be put back to their original positions, and don't forget to take the T-key from the roof and put it back in the box in the guards compartment.